In this video, this will be the first part of a series of videos that I will cover on comparing React Native with Flutter. So both of these frameworks allows you to build a single set of code and target it for the mobile platform. So um, React Native was designed by what was now called Facebook and now called Flutter. I mean, it's what now called Meta. And Meta had developed React Native to build their mobile apps, and they have targeted React Native to support both iOS and Android. So, um, however, with the advent of Flutter, which came out around 2017, 2018, um, it initially supported Android and iOS, but lately, as of 2025, Flutter also supports web, the Mac desktop, Windows desktop, and Linux desktop, whereas the React Native primarily just supports the two major mobile operating systems. The so these both of these frameworks allow you to build a singular set of source code that can be developed for their respective targets. But keep in mind that Flutter supports more target devices, whereas React Native supports just Android and iOS. And then also, you will see that React Native, since it is based off of JavaScript, you will have a set of dependencies or tools that you need to download and install for each respective framework. For focusing on Flutter um, for just mobile and web, you only need to install Xcode and Android Studio, and it will support web out of the box. Whereas React Native, you need to not only install Node.js, but you will also need to install Xcode and Android Studio for iOS and Android. For Flutter to support the desktop, you will need Xcode with the Mac OS X platform. And then for Windows, you would need Visual Studio C++ for Windows. And then there is also the GNU libraries needed to build the Flutter app for Linux.
Please subscribe to this channel and like this video to support this kind of work.
So this is a very just simple React Native application that I had created from using the instructions here on the React Native website. So after you get started, set up all your environment, then you use this command line here to create your app. It will prompt you for a name of the app, and then it sets up a project like this on the left side, and you just open it up in VS Code or whatever you have, and you start editing the source code. And you can see under the apps folder, this is where the main code is for this React Native application. So I made some changes, and then it's running, and you can see here that it's running here. And the way that you run it, a React Native app, you would go to the command line here, and let me just exit out of here, and then you just run this NXP Expo start. And then once it's up and running like this, then you download and install the Expo app on either the simulator or the real device. And here's the in the simulator, and here's the Expo app. And when you run it in Expo, You can then enter in the URL for the app, this one right here. And once it runs, then the app starts up like this. Now, this is all fine. And if you look around on the rest of the internet for how people would launch and debug and run the mobile app, some of the things that you might see is that they're using the web browser to be able to debug the app in that's written for the mobile phone. And that might work for maybe some of the easiest case, maybe some of the easier cases. But when you need to be able to do some debugging in the app that are very tied to the device, or let's say it only works when you have location or a camera, that initialization of the code here in index.tsx, that's going to be very hard to do inside a React Native app. Um, but once you do get that set up and you do able to run the app like this, doing some simple changes within the React Native code to do something like this is pretty straightforward. Okay. But you might see that being able to actually debug the app straight from VS Code or something like VS Code, like Cursor, you might find that actually the debugging of the code is extremely difficult to set up. And then you take an example of a Flutter app. With the Flutter app, when you create something from scratch, it creates this directory structure, and you'll see a main Dart here set up. And what I've done here is just set up a very simple, well, slightly simple application that all it does is open up like a diary app. But the true power of Flutter is that everything is compilable. It has its own separate language, separate from a React Native JavaScript. This is a Dart or Dart language, and with the Flutter framework. And the thing is that when you want to run it, so here um, you select your target of what you want to run it on, and you can see that it's already connecting to this iPhone 16 Plus. And then you can either press on this start debugging, or you can start from here. So let's say start without debugging. And what's going to happen is the iPhone app will come forward here, and the app will start running inside of the simulator. And the beauty also of Flutter is that you can put breakpoints in the initialization of the app, and then be able to step through the code at the very early parts of the code. So here you can see I've already started the debugger, but if I were to put a breakpoint here, let's see here. It's already launched it, but let me just stop it and start it again with the debugger this time. And when I start it, it's going to let me set my breakpoints here and stop here and let me walk through the code. Okay, so this is far more of the kind of debugging and coding kind of environment that everybody sort of expects with a full integrated development environment like VS Code. So you can see here that I can just step through the code or let it continue. And here we're just running and set some breakpoints, let it run, so forth. And you can put all these different breakpoints and just clear them all out. And here, got the app running. Whereas with with uh, React Native and Expo, you would launch the Expo app first, load in the URL, and then also launch this separate Expo server in the back. So this is just more complications for a React Native app, but for a Flutter application, this is really quite straightforward and simple. Right here, this is the diary app, and it's got things like a restart. So it will restart the app, set breakpoints this way. Whereas with the React Native debugger, you're really kind of debugging it within the browser. But here, you're really debugging it within VS Code and the plugin for Flutter in within the React Native, I mean, within the Flutter coding environment. So check out these two projects that I have the source code for. Let me know your thoughts about writing a Flutter app versus a React Native app, and let me know what your thoughts are.